Shai Bashem Rakakudah Shalom to the 144,000 and rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video, Whose Look Was More Stout Than His Fellows. This is from Daniel 7 verse 20. And what I will do is, give me a second here. Excuse me. I had to shut off my alarm. So anyway, I'm going to read this 20th verse, but I may read a couple of verses above that. And this is centered around this video, this right here, this news show. Give me a second. Now I'm going to try not to be long. Okay. This is the Young Turks, TYT. Let me check the notifications here. We're more into the analyzing stage of this thing of ours. Psycho-analyze and everything. Terrors are upon us. This is our hemisphere, which goes into the same topic. I may even click on this. Okay. So what I did was, let me do this. I'm not going to let you hear it. I put up the subtitles, closed caption. So this is Ann Coulter from Fox News. So that's all I got to say. You know what she gonna say. So this is what she says. We're going back and forth with Anna Kasparian, which is this beautiful woman right here. Anyway, so this is them arguing. Now, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me bring it back. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Okay. They're the ones who ship the cocaine from Colombia to Mexico. Talking about the Venezuelans, Mexico trucks. It in here. Yes, they are a crucial part of this. Now, Nero Redivivos had to have an excuse as to going in there. He's a corrupt person. He's killing his own people. He's shipping fentanyl to the United States. He's killing 25. What do you say? 25. He just throws out numbers. 25,000 a day or 250,000 a day. Where do you get that number from? Exactly 250,000, 25,000 die. If you had, I don't know how many people you have on drugs in America, but if these people say, I want to clean my life out, let me go to the government and see, they're not going to help you. Oh, I'm sorry. They give you the runaround. Most likely, I would say, because that's going to cost billions of dollars to get people off drugs coming from the government. You think he's going to come out of the Treasury to pay for that? It says, in here, yes, they are a crucial part of this. There's been indictments after, and this is Coulter talking. So this is the whole history of this guy. We got tired of this guy's killing our American people with drugs. It's not about drugs. Because after he got in there, after he arrested Maduro, it's about the oil. And he even threatened the vice president, which is now president, if you don't cooperate, we're going to roll you over. And now, so let's go ahead and read. Okay, of this, there's I'm sorry. Let me see something. Okay, indictment. This has to do with our country because they're concerned about people on drugs. The cocaine and meth and fentanyl. Now it went from fentanyl to meth and cocaine. They're killing hundreds of thousands of Americans because they're so concerned. Go to what's that in Philadelphia? Kensington Ave. It's nothing but it's under the L. Nothing but people on openly just out there homeless, just doing drugs all day for miles. One day we got to go out there. They don't give a fuck about people on drugs. This is our hemisphere. Wait, that's a Monroe Doctrine. There's a new doctrine called the Trump Doctrine. Let me look at the Trump Doctrine. You notice how we're psychoanalyzing, we're filtering current events through the scriptures. Okay, what did I say I was going to do? Let me go to the Trump Doctrine. What is the Trump Doctrine? A Trump Doctrine. It's not giving me a definition. The Trump Doctrine. I said, what is the Trump Doctrine? Let me do it this way. I asked a question. I didn't want. What the hell? Trump Dunroe Doctrine seeks influence over Western Hemisphere, citing old U.S. Let me open this up. Trump Dunroe Doctrine seeks influence over Western Hemisphere, which is Canada, Central and South America, citing old U.S. policy. You know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Let me get my bearings straight. Let's try the AI. Now they're not giving you straight answers.
So now acting President Delcy Rodriguez says she Venezuela, but then opposition leader Maria Corina Machado.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me do this. Let me go to AI mode. In January 2026, the Trump Doctrine, often referred to by President Trump as the Dunroe Doctrine, is defined by a unilateral assertion of American dominance. Think of the word hegemony, bully on the block. In the, give me a second. In the Western Hemisphere, Canada, America, Central America, South America. No other nation could, well, you have the Chinese that have an ongoing deal with Cuba, Russia, and China has an ongoing deal with Venezuela for the oil. The interest was in the oil, not in fentanyl. And a transitional approach to global leadership, meaning we're going to put a puppet in there. You follow our rules, you'll be all right. As long as we get your oil. It's all about oil now. Switch from the whole fentanyl thing to oil. This policy shift was formalized in the 2025 National Security Strategy and catalyzed by the January 26 U.S. military operation to arrest Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro. Let me do this. What's the difference between the Trump doctrine and the Monroe Doctrine? The Monroe Doctrine, 1823, warned European powers against colonizing or interfering in America's, because they took down the Indians, put them on reservations. So we're going to take the land. What you got to understand is, if you don't know that part of history, America consisted of the 13 original colonies on the East Coast. So their thing was to go further west. And one major thing that they used was the railroad. They had to build a railroad tracks for the railroad to go from the east to the west. So their thing was to take over and dominate this whole tract of land which is called the U.S. So if European nations wanted to take part of the land, they'll go to war with them. That includes the UK. That includes the Spanish, the French, even the Germans. You had these three major wars, and I'm going to get into that in Daniel chapter 7. It says the Western Hemisphere as a U.S. sphere of influence, while the Trump doctrine or Monroe Doctrine reinterprets this to justify active U.S. dominance, hegemony, economic coercion, and potential military intervention against all external rivals like China and Russia. Even one step closer to Armageddon. And internal threats, cartels, rival governments within the hemisphere asserting direct control under a Trump corollary. For American security and economic interests. Key differences. Monroe was defensive against Europe. Trump is proactively assertive. He's saying we're going to go after them. That's why he had the Department of Defense changed to the Department of War, because defense is defensive, right? That's why it's called the defense. And war, Department of War, meaning you're proactive. You go out and look for fights. Anyway, that's all I wanted. Let's come on back to hemisphere, and we should be installing puppet. They're not hiding it. Psalm 64. They're not hiding it. They're telling on themselves. They're not denying it. They just said puppet. We're gonna take over these different nations, these nation states, and we're gonna install puppets, which is a fake leader that doesn't give a damn about his people, but get their marching orders from the puppeteer. So she just said that. So that's gonna come back to haunt her. Well, not her. Puppet governments throughout the region. That region is Canada, Central and South America, places like Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Cuba. So they just want to take over this west, the whole entire Greenland. That's north of Canada. When Nero first came into office, his second term, he said we're going to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which they haven't changed. People still call it the Gulf of Mexico. And Canada is the 51st state, and the president of Canada is really the governor of the state of Canada. This man is a crazy man. So she said, she used the word puppet. We're going to install puppet governments throughout the region. Okay, so it says, pedal the about how Venezuela is at the heart of our drug problems. Fentanyl comes, the material is coming from China. It's trafficked to the United States from China. It's all from Mexico. No, it literally from China. So why don't they attack China? The ingredients for the drug come from China. That's all I need. That's all I need. So the truth is coming out on these people. Their tongue shall fall upon themselves. Psalm 64. Okay, so now let's go back to Daniel 7 and 20. I'll read the verse again. If I didn't read the verse, I just read part of the verse. And the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, Spanish-American War, French-American War, the Revolutionary War, even of that horn, which is America, that had eyes that can see, or see in the future, have vision, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. Whose look was more stout than his fellows, meaning the other European nations. We're over you. That's why the Europeans in general hate so-called white Americans. Showed you that in the movie. It was a comedy. It was a part 2 of the movie American Gigolo in Europe. And when he went to Europe, who's the guy? I forget the actor's name, the comedian. They had T-shirts where they said, "I hate America, F America." Everything was about hate America, no matter where you went in Europe. The European Edomites hate America. So I want to go to the word stout. Everybody's condemning this act as well. Ultimately, they're going to... well, they're talking about taking Greenland, which is under the jurisdiction of Denmark. Remember, we're filtering everything through the scriptures. What the hell? I'm sorry. Okay, stout. Great adjective. Great figure of power. We're over you. The word is Rab. Right, the great and noble. The great. Whose look was greater than its brothers. We're great. We're over you. We're over you. You had this series of war, World War I, World War II, which were wars against Europeans, Edomite fighting against Edomites. Revelation 6. We said we're analyzing everything now. We know that we're living in a time of revelation. We know that the destruction's got to come inside of months. We're counting down not years, but months. And our generation, this generation shall not pass until all these things be fulfilled. Everything that's going to be fulfilled is what? the deliverance and the destruction and the mark of the beast. So let me see here. Let me come back. Okay, so we got 20. Let me see the truth, peace, vision interpret. Okay, the vision interpreted. Let's go back. Let's go over here. This is the Ancient of Days. Pure wool, head like pure wool, meaning if the Most High shows himself as a man in a vision to Daniel, he showed himself as a black. So it was a big black man with an afro, with a beard, woolly afro that sat down. So the Most High is a black. He's a spirit, but when he comes down in the form of a man in the vision, he comes down as a black man. He does not come down looking like Uncle Sam. You know? Anyway, it said a fiery stream came forth. That's the ship. I beheld till the beast. I beheld then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. America spake, talking shit. I beheld even till the beast was slain. What's gonna destroy or kill the beast, or not the beast, but the headquarters, the official headquarters of the beast, which is America, because Europe, these European nations are going to get necessarily hit with warheads. There's going to be some destruction. The earthquake's going to knock down a lot of buildings, so the whole earth is going to be destroyed in a way, but it's going to be built back up. That's why we need slaves. It says, in his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. The part of the body that's going to be destroyed is the woman that sitteth upon the beast. Because these the other nations, the beast nations, they're going to look from afar. But like I said, there's going to be buildings dropping, dead people around the world. It says, 12th verse, as concerning the rest of the beasts, which is the Babylonians, which they're still alive, which are the people, the Arabs, Assyrians, Medo-Persians, the Medes, in the Middle East and around the world, scattered. You got the Persians, which are the people of Iran, had their dominion taken away, and the Greeks, which were Edomites, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time, because they're going to all go into slavery. They're going to be under us. They're going to be serfs under us. The Son of Man presented. I saw in the night vision, and behold, one like unto the Son of Man. The Son of Man is always referring to, Son of Man means son of the earth. So Daniel saw a man. He saw angels. He saw thousands upon thousands of angels minister to the Father. Then he saw the Son of Man minister to the Father, which shows, this kills this Christian nonsense about the Father and Son are the same. They're all the same. Well, how did the Son come to the Father? Son of Man came with the clouds, the UFOs, the spaceships, the chariots, and came to the Ancient of Days, which is the Father. And they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion. Who was given dominion? Yahweh Shai. Who gave him dominion, authority? The Father, the Ancient of Days. The Ancient of Days is not Yahweh Shai. It says, the glory and the kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which was promised to Solomon. That's Solomon. Did not the Lord say that Solomon's kingdom was going to be an everlasting kingdom? Well, did not Solomon die? Solomon's coming back to take his throne again, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Magog is not going to make a comeback. Stop listening to that blockhead Bishop Nate. He don't know. He makes shit up as he goes along. Don't let the purple and gold fool you. The vision interpreted. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit, in the midst of my body, and the vision of my head troubled me. What he saw was a holographic movie. If you turned around to your back, you saw the back. You saw the, what was in behind you. You looked up, you saw it was above you. He saw missiles. He saw destruction. He saw the warheads hitting this place. He saw America. So he said, "Damn, this is overwhelming." It says, "I came near unto one of them that stood by, which is the angel, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me," the angel told him, "and made me know the interpretation of the things." So the angels know that America, they already know it. Yahweh Shai knows that America is going to be destroyed. The system is going to be destroyed in our lifetime. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing to be alive at this time. That's why this hell don't really bother me, because I know this man's going down. It said, "These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall rise out of the earth. Babylonians, which are Assyrians, the king is in Assyria." It started as the Assyrians. The Assyrians, when you go to the 7th chapter, at the beginning, it speaks about a lion having eagle's wings, and it propped up itself. That went from the Assyrians. You had the Assyrians, then you had the Babylonians, which is let's say an extension of the Assyrians. The king of Babylon, the line of kings of Neo-Babylon, were Assyrian. They were not Cushite, as the 7 used to teach. They said, no, they were Cushite. They were not Cushites. Babylonians are not Cushite. The reason why High Priest Ariel used to teach that is because the first Babylonian kingdom went back to Cush, which was Nimrod. He was a Cushite. But the Neo-Babylon was ruled by an Assyrian. And it was the Medes that took them down. It said, "These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall rise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever." The saints of the Most High are the Israelites. It's not, well, you got some Edomites and you got some Jakes. You got some Africans that if they believe, no. Stop listening to Genesis. We know that they sold out. It's obvious that they sold out. Okay, so let's look this up. Back to the basics. We're psychoanalyzing this information. We're filtering the current events through the scriptures. Okay, so let's go to the I'm gonna ask it 2 different ways. Come on, man. Oh, let me do it this way. Meaning. Meaning and context. The saints of the Most High refers to God's faithful people, which are the Israelites. In the original text, covenant people of God, Israel, the faithful remnant, and latter biblical theory. Right, it's a theory. The Most High's people are a whole, and as a whole, include believers united with the Son of Man. That they're trying to stick the other nations in there. It's not talking about that. It's talking about Israelites. People So receive the kingdom. The kingdom is given, not taken. Most High grants authority and rule to his people after judging his people of Israel, judging evil powers. Esau and the other kingdoms possess the kingdom forever, unlike a temporary beastly empire. This kingdom is eternal, secure, and unending. So let me do this. What the GMS Israel lights take GMS Great Millstone Israelites have a very specific, literal, and exclusivist interpretation, Daniel 7:18. I'll explain it. Descriptively, not endorsing it. Descriptively, excuse me, and keep it clear. But the saints of the Most High shall receive the kingdom. Saints of the Most High, Israelites only. And all the One West agree with it, except for Genesis, which they're not One West. Israelites only. GMS teaches the saints are not all believers. Right, the only believers are Israelites, the elect, starting with the elect. They are only the Israelites whom they identify primarily as so-called blacks, Hispanic, Native American peoples, the 12 tribes of Israel. Gentiles are excluded from being saints or inheriting the kingdom. They reject any interpretation that applies this verse universally. Kingdom, literal political world rule. To GMS, this is not spiritual or symbolic. It means a literal government on earth, Israel ruling all nations. The Messiah, Yahushua, is king. The Israelites as co-rulers, judges, and rulers. They often link this to Daniel 7 and 27, Revelation 2 verse 26. We may look at these. Revelation 2 verse 26 to 27, Revelation 20 verse 4, 1,000-year reign, possess the kingdom forever. GMS teaches Israel will rule eternally. Other nations will be subjects, serve Israel, and many GMS teachings be placed into perpetual servitude. This is central to their theology of reversal, right? Reversal of power. Israel enslaved, Israel ruling, connection to the beast. They interpret the beast of Daniel 7 as Babylon, Medo-Persian, Greece, Rome, modern Western powers, especially America. As Daniel 7:18 is seen as the moment when white rule empires collapse, Israel is restored to power after oppression. Important classifications. The interpretations is not held by mainstream Judaism or Christianity. Depends on modern racial identification and not found in the biblical text. Is widely criticized for reading modern ethnicity into ancient prophecy. Well, you had ethnic people back in the ancient world. ignoring passages that include Gentiles among God's people. Example, Isaiah 56, those are Israelites. Daniel 7:14, Acts 10 are Israelites. If you want, I can compare GMS mainstream Christianity, so we're disgrace, Hebrews, Aramaic. Show where the disagreement hinge in the Hebrew Aramaic. No, we'll say it's written in Aramaic. That the book of Daniel, at least. That was the Babylonian language. Break down how Daniel 7 is used in Revelation versus GMS teaching. They often link this to Daniel 7 and 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. Daniel 2 and 44. The kingdom shall not be left to other people, other nations. Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him and us. Now it also mentioned Revelation 2, verse 26 and 27. I already know that by heart. And he that overcometh, which are the elect, and keepeth my works, do the works, unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Or to them will I give power over the nations. And he or them, they shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers. We're going to bust them up, even as I received of my Father. And I will give him the morning star, the light bearer. We will be the light bearers. Yahweh shall be the light bearer. Revelation 22, verse 16, I believe that is. Matter of fact, let me do that. Let me go to that. Revelation 22. Revelation 22. I believe it's 16. Yep. I, Yahushai, have sent my angel to testify unto you, John, the Apostle John, these things in the churches, the Israelites, mainly like the 7 churches of Asia Minor. I am the root and offspring of David. This right here proves that Yahushai's father was Joseph. It was an actual man, Joseph, from the direct line of King David, that impregnated Mary. And the bright and what? And morning star. Now that word bright and morning star translates into the word Lucifer in Isaiah 14. We already know that. I'm singing to the choir. Anyway, let me do this. Let me come back over here. I don't think I need this anymore. Yeah, they're planning on taking over all these nations. That's the U.S. Nero Redivivos, he's going to lead. We believe he's going to be the man that leads Babylon the Great into the last war. The third woe. Okay, I might want to watch this one. His videos are pretty relatively short. You just see what's going on. Just seeing what's going on. Oh, let me just watch some of this.
I've noticed something extremely disturbing in the past few weeks. I know everybody's talking about this situation with Venezuela and how the U.S. military went in and took this president of this country captive. And everybody's talking about this stuff. I saw a post on the White House where the president put up a picture of himself and it said F-A-F-O, F around and find out. And everybody's all talking about this stuff. And what I'm wondering is how is it that we're going to invade another country and take the president captive to bring him up on charges for some drug boats when there ain't been one single person that's been held accountable or prosecuted on this Epstein list? Right after all these files were supposedly released, most of them were redacted, and there ain't been one person prosecuted. And there's a lot of names on this list of people who are still involved in government, who still sit in seats of authority.
Yeah, this system is totally and completely and utterly corrupt. Corrupt system. Complete and utter corrupt system. And certain people in certain high levels of government are spineless, don't have no backbone. And with the deal, part of the corruption. This is what you call a kleptocracy. Look that word up. I went to that the other day. Cryptocracy is one. That look that up. Cryptocracy, and look up kleptocracy.
I noticed that recently there was a directive signed and released on the whitehouse.gov website that says we're going to win the race to 6G. So I went in.
When you hear 6G, you got to think of MOTB. 6G equals MOTB. That's a topic, right? That's a bar. 6G equals MOTB.
And I started researching this thing, and I noticed something very interesting that was said on this directive. It said that the purpose was to adopt technology that would support things like AI, robotics, and implantable technologies.
Ooh,
and I thought, implantable technology?
Wait a minute. This guy might be a Jake, brother. This guy might be a Jake.
Interesting that was said on this directive. It said that the purpose was to adopt technology that would support things like AI, robotics, and implantable technologies.
Implantable technologies. Implantable technology is not sin in all of its forms. It's not sleeping with white women. It's not an embargo.
And I thought, implantable technologies, like something that you would implant into your skin that could link yourself to a smart device, kind of like Neuralink and all these other things that we're hearing about. And it takes me back to the book of Daniel, right? Where he said the fourth and final kingdom that will be set up and tread down the whole earth will be the last kingdom before Jesus Christ brings his kingdom. And he said the iron will mingle themselves together with the seed of the miry clay. That's the offspring of man. Adam was made from the miry clay. But something else that's interesting is we've talked about this, is not only do we see that we're going to try to win the race to 6G, they also signed an executive order for the Genesis mission. And if you've seen some of my videos, if you've watched the podcast, the Tyler Wood Encounter, I go much deeper into this. But with this Genesis mission, they're saying that they're directing the Department of Energy to build massive infrastructure to make these giant facilities full of quantum computers so that we can have the strongest accelerated innovation of AI that mankind has ever seen. And we also saw that the president signed this order saying that they're going to use privately invested funds and put $500 billion into a Stargate project.
Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon
I'm going to let this play a little bit.
their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Kodash. Giving double honors to the men that are worthy of double honor, our apostles and our elders of the Church of Great Millstone, which is based out of New York or a ruling wall. Not forgetting our bishops and our elders that are out in Connecticut, who are worthy of double honor also. Shalom, peace, and love to the hopeful elect brethren that are pushing this true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, continuing in the apostles' doctrine, and not forgetting the rest of the hopeful elect, which are believers, you men, women, and children that are patiently waiting for these last and final prophecies to happen in the return of our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai. I stumbled across a video, from an individual whose name is Tyler Wood, who he looks like one of those people that you would consider an Edomite, from the Bible Belt.
Well, that name is a Jake name. Tyler Wood sound like a nigga name to me. Tyler Wood.
All right, but however, you got some of these individuals that look like Edomites that may possibly be Jakes.
We ain't saying he's a Jake, but I wouldn't be surprised if what's coming out of his mouth is nothing but truth. He has a zeal toward the Most High, redeemed, right? He's a Christian, born again. You see the cross in the back. That's the sword that was a vision that Constantine the Great saw, right? So he's a born againer. You have a zeal towards the Most High, but not according to knowledge. Now he could be a Jake. You got to tell him that. You said if you're an Edomite, you're going into captivity. You do look like an Edomite, but you're going to have Israelites that look like Jakes and vice versa.
I'm not saying that he is. I don't know if he is or whatever. But however, I know one thing though, and he understands something that a lot of Israelites can't understand. And if he does happen to be an Edomite, the scriptures do say that the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. But he does understand, that the implantable technologies is the mark of the beast. And that's what this video is going to be about, the implantable technologies. Which he's highlighting some things that is
even Trump, and that's recently, he was at a meeting and they was speaking about 6G. He said, we're going into 6G. And then how did he say it? He said, that's something to go up under the skin. He said it's something to that effect. I'm not going to look for the video. Y'all seen it. If you don't look for it, you can send it to me. I'll put it in this video, whatever. Put it in this comment section of this video, whatever it is. But when they mentioned 6G, Trump got excited and said something to the effect that's going to go under the skin. What was the 5G all about? That was during the time of the pandemic. That's why they had a curfew for people to come in, because they were putting up single J towers. And because I was out there and I saw them out, I saw the white trucks out there. I saw police and I waved to the police. They waved back to me. They said, I ain't gonna say nothing. 8 o'clock, you supposed to be in the house. I was out there at 10 o'clock waving at cops. seeing white trucks pull up. Now they should have just told you. They said when you see a white truck, this is 5G. It's gonna make your phone faster. Why? A lot of things that you guys do, you don't have. You can tell the people. What's this guy? He did the book. He wrote the book Tragedy and Hope. Carol Quigley. He wrote Tragedy and Hope, and he said he was open to all of the information of the illuminated ones because he was an insider. And he was a mentor to Clinton. Clinton idolized this guy, Carol Quigley. I believe it was either Harvard or I believe it was Harvard. He was a professor in Harvard. He said he was open to all the information of the illuminated Rothschilds or the elite. And when he looked at it, he said, why do you guys hide it? He said, just give it to the people. This makes all the sense in the world. That's what he said. So some of them guys said, well, why are we covering this stuff up? This is tell them the truth. So anyway, let's move on.
Happened.
And you can fact check me. Carol Quigley, Tragedy and Hope. Clinton idolized him. And he wrote this book. Like I said, Tragedy and Hope is the name of the book. You can probably listen to it on YouTube. It might be on YouTube. Matter of fact, let me do this. Okay, we don't need her no more. The book Tragedy and Hope. Tragedy and Hope. Okay, let's see what's happening. Tragedy and Hope in 10 minutes, the book of this book predicted everything. Carol Quigley, Tragedy and Hope. The history of the world in our time. So I'm going to watch that video later. Tragedy and Hope again. Okay, now Tragedy and Hope, a history of the world in our time, audio book. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Maybe it's cut up. Let me do this here. Maybe might want to listen to this on my walk. Come on now. How do you guys get such knowledge? We search shit. I'm sorry.
Chapter 1. Western Civilization in its World Setting.
Uh-oh. That's all you had to say. Anyway, so you can get this. Let me see something. Let me go ahead and put this in save it. I might record it with my real player. You can record all these videos. You know, YouTube videos. If you don't know, you can record a video, listen to it at your leisure. If you got certain songs you want to listen to, you go to the YouTube. It becomes a MP4. Then you switch it over to an MP3, and then you can put it in your MP3 players when you do your walk or your exercise. So anyway, let me do this. I'll put it in new videos 1. So I'll be able to listen to this. Anyway, let's come on back.
All right, within this year, in which we just started this year. All right, here it is. It's the
this year opened with a boom. because Nero could have did this a month ago, but 26, like I said, the pressure is going to be put up. The faucet is going to be turned up. Hopefully, the faucet is turned up all the way. Because we want out of here. But myself, I don't care. It comes when it comes. Because I've been in this thing so long, I'm used to it. Man, I'm gonna get it, Lord, 5 years. If you don't come in 5 years, I'm out of here. Man, shoot. I'm in this thing more than 40 years.
The 7th of this year. All right, and so many things have already took place, which shows you what type of year.
Oh, the old saying. There are decades that happen. There are decades that go by and weeks. What is it? There's decades that go by and nothing happens. Then there are weeks that go by that decades happen. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. I'm sorry. And that was given to us by the young elder Shaman. He had quoted it, and I looked it up. I said, "Yeah, that's all right." Lenin. There are decades that go by. I don't want. He's in state. You go to Russia, you can see this guy. They preserved his body. Let me see something. Give me a second here. Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. I should just put down quotes. Okay, copy. There are decades that go by and nothing happens. There are weeks that go by and decades happen. That powerful quote, these are decades where nothing, there are decades where nothing happens. And there are weeks where decades happens, is widely attributed to Vladimir Lenin. Though its exact origins is debated, it powerfully captures how long periods of slow change can be suddenly punctuated by intense transformative events that compress significant shifts into short time frames, highlighting the unpredictable nature of history and society. Well, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can be sure, in politics, you can be sure that it was planned that way. So that's what it means. And from this is a week. We're officially 1 week into 2026, and decades have happened. So anyway, let's come on back.
It's going to be. And don't forget, through the Spirit, this year have been coined the year of apostasy, agents, and spies. All right? And apostasy can also happen through individuals becoming offended because of.
He said apostasy, agents, and spies, which is apostasy, agents, and sellouts, which is the same thing. Spies they spy because they're getting paid off. They sold out. Like I'm gonna say this again, every camp has police spies in there. Every camp has spies. Some of them come, looking for the truth, and they get approached. They become spies. Like Genesis, the newest sellouts on the block. Oh, they definitely sold out. If you can't see that they sold out, you got problems.
This truth. All right, and there will be a situation. All right, which is known as the time of Jacob's trouble, which is going to lead a lot of Israelites to being offended at this truth. All right, they're going to demonize, all right, our faith. And that's going to lead to a lot of these flaky Israelites who came in this thing the wrong way and for the wrong reasons. You came in this thing because of you like or you were attracted to a certain group because they rapped. All right, you like their fashion, you like their uniform, you like how they marched in cadence.
Gimmicks.
All right, but you didn't learn anything about faith and Yahushua. All right, you were amongst that group when they called us faith-based Israelites. When the scriptures clearly say that the just shall live by faith. But anyways, there's a time of persecution that's aligned with the time of Jacob's trouble, which is going to be a major test. And a lot of Israelites that lack faith is going to fail that test. That's the reason why this is a time to be working on that foundation. Yahushua said that he that keep my words, I will show you what he is like. He is a man that dug deep and built his house upon the rock. All right, he built his house upon the foundation. And the waves came, and the storm came, the tempest came, and it couldn't knock that house down because that house had a rock solid foundation. Well, that's how you're supposed to be within this ministry. So yeah, this guy, he spoke about, how people are paying attention to the Venezuela thing. He said, but look, this is what you really should be paying attention to. How the White House put out an executive order, pushing for, or what was it, a memorandum or something along the lines of that? I'll put it in the description box. But they were pushing for, being at the top of this 6G thing, which they want to be at the forefront of technology. But look, that's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, because the scripture speaks about that new beast, all right, that is coming up, all right, and that beast will be the one that introduces a system, to where the mark of the beast technology becomes compulsory, meaning that it becomes a mandate, it becomes an order, it becomes a law. All right, it becomes a way of buying and selling in order to participate within society. Because right now it's not like that. Right now we can buy, we can sell, we can maneuver through society, without having an implantable device. But eventually that implantable device is going to become compulsory. And what is the definition of the word compulsory? The definition of compulsory, it says the action or state of forcing or being forced to do something, constraint. Now, they're not going to tie you down on the table and say, we're going to force this chip in you. We're going to put this chip in you, because they want you to agree or they want you to disagree. Now constraint is a good word when dealing with, cutting off access to food, water, shelter. All right, and it's almost like they're forcing you, but they're just taking away your daily necessities. All right, the things that are essential to life, which is putting pressure on you. So pressure is an even better word. All right, phlepsis is what the Greek calls it.
Right, they're going to deceive you to taking it. Give me a second here. Give me a second. I'm going to show you that they're going to deceive you into taking it. lead you into error. Let me see. Let me put down mark of the. Let's just do it this way. Where's the word? Okay, inexact matches. Okay, this is what I want to see. Revelation 19:20, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet, and that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. I wanted to get the word deceived. Deceived. Planao. To cause to stray, to lead astray, lead aside from the right way. That's why you got these groups, Israelite groups, saying that it's not the actual microchip, because we believe that they sold out, and they're part of the fact that they got paid off. They got to deceive their followers, their lost followers, their zombies, to take that chip. So they want the Israelites to take that chip mainly, to go astray, wander, roam about, metaphorically, to lead to the truth, to lead into error, to deceive, to be led into error, to be led aside from the path of virtue or truth, to go astray, sin, because it is a sin. It's not sin, it is a sin. Sin, the translation, loosely translated or directly translated, the word sin means to miss the mark. You take that chip, you miss the mark. It says to sever or fall away from the truth of heretics. The beast is sleeping with a white woman. That's heretical doctrine. It's an embargo, heretical doctrine. Sin is all of its forms, heretical doctrine. To be led away into error and sin. Let's come on back.
So within this 6G thing, all right, this is what they're saying is it's going to help. And this comes from the White House, and this was published December 19th, 2025, under the title Winning the 6G Race. Section 1, Purpose. All right, the next generation of mobile communication networks, 6G, will be foundational to the national security. And I want to throw this in as a tidbit. There's a book by the title of The Fourth Industrial Revolution, which was co-authored by Klaus Schwab and many other authors. And by 2025, they had a think tank, and the think tank, there was a certain percentage that said that they believe by 2025 that the cell phone technology will be under the skin. So the new cell phone is going to be the chip. The new cell phone is going to be the brain chip.
So they're lagging behind. They're lagging behind. They want their goal is 2030. They want to do it before 2030.
And it's no coincidence that at this time, all right, Musk has said that he wants to mass produce, because he had a breakthrough, he wants to mass produce the Neuralink. All right? The Neuralink type technology and other brain computer interfaces will be the new cell phone. You'll be able to communicate with somebody telepathically through thinking. All right? They call it superpowers, but however, it is super deception. So it says foreign policy and economic prosperity of the United States. This technology will play pivotal roles in the development and adoption of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, and implantable technologies. So what are implantable technologies? All right, let's look that up. We're going to just search the web, search Google. So implantable technologies involves devices surgically placed inside the body to extend periods, to treat, monitor, and support health conditions, ranging from basic prosthetics like artificial joints and complex electronics like pacemakers, neurostimulators, and cochlear implants. Key trends focus on miniaturizing, increased intelligence, and bioelectronic medicine. Now, see, I looked this up before, and it mentioned the RFID chip. It's the reason why you should screenshot Google AI overview. All right, let's look this up. Implantable RFID, radio frequency identification technology, involves tiny biometric chips embedded under the skin for contactless identification, access, and
that's the fulfillment of Revelation 13 and 16 and 17.
Data storage, offering benefits like unlocking doors, payments, and quick medical records access, but raises concerns about security, hacking, cloning, privacy, surveillance, and ethical considerations, with future implants promising enhanced security, multiple functions, and integrated health monitoring, though requiring professional implantation to avoid infection and injury. So the RFID chip and the brain-computer interfaces are implantable technologies. All right, BCI, brain-computer interface, implantable brain-computer interfaces, BCIs, emerging technologies, because what did they say? They said emerging technologies, right? That was the exact words that they used on the website. That creates a direct link between the brain and external devices. All right, primarily, all right, to restore function lost due to paralysis, neurological disease like ALS, spinal cord injury, strokes, and blindness. allowing users to control computers, wheelchairs, and prosthetics with thoughts by translating brain signals into commands. Key players in developments include Neuralink using ultra-fine threads for high bandwidth, Columbia Engineering, Tiny Silicone Chips, BlackRock Neurotech, facilitating surgical placements, with research focusing on wirelessly high bandwidth, minimally invasive implants for high accuracy in decoding speech and movements. So this is that emerging technology. All right, back at the White House website, this technology will play pivotal roles in the development and adoption of emerging technologies.
I want to try something. What did Trump mean when he said 6G can go under the skin? When Donald Trump said the phrase, he was not describing an actual technological capability of 6G, but was expressing his confusion between 6G cellular network technology and high resolution cameras. No. Okay, this is it right here. Give me a second. What I'm going to do is, give me a second.
Your perfect domain is out there. Go to Wix and make it yours. Claim your...
We're going to be hard at work.
So we're just... Hold up, I don't want to play, I don't want to... Okay, give me a second here. Let me do this. Slow it down. Slow it down, man. If I can hit caption, I'll hit caption. Okay, driving that agenda.
60 now. I just finished 5G. I was a leader of 5G getting that done. And now they're up to 6.
Let's do it again.
What does that do? Give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin? See how
so you heard it. What does it give you? A deeper view into somebody's skin. So he knows. I don't got to play this again. GMS, the Israelites, they have the full 100% truth. None of these other camps could say that. Let's come on back. Where are we? Right here.
Like artificial intelligence, robotics, and implantable technologies. So the brain-computer interface and the RFID chip are emerging technologies.
And you got a lot of millionaires out there that will become billionaires through technology. This is the new trend, the technology. Everything is, high tech.
Okay.
Daniel 12 verse, I believe it was the 4th verse. Knowledge shall increase. Technology.
Want to go here because something is going to happen to where the MOTB is adopted and pushed worldwide. It won't just be an American thing. And it's not just an American thing. You got thousands of Swedes that have the market of beasts right now.
They said anywhere from 10 to 50,000, with at least 10, which is not a lot compared to the whole planet. We're talking about they want to chip billions of people. The population of the planet is supposedly 8+ billion people, so they're talking about billions of people that have to be chipped. That's all money too.
All right, and in other countries, individuals who are into biotech are embedding themselves with the mark of the beast. So to say that this technology don't exist, or that it's June, ain't no microchip, or to say that this would not be used for buying, selling, or giving individuals access to society and shutting out others, shows that you lack wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, because you lack the Holy Spirit. And I don't see how anybody that doesn't call on the name Yahweh Shai and believe in Yahweh and Yahweh Shai can possibly have the Holy Spirit, which is important to understanding the scriptures. Revelation, the 3rd chapter, verse 10, it says, because thou hast kept the words of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell on the earth. Now we're going to look up a key word within this verse, which is going to be the word to try. All right, because a great trial is coming. All right, a great test. And only those that are of the elect are going to pass this test. So the word for try is the word periazo, all right, which is G3985, and it says to try whether a thing can be done. Attempt, endeavor, all right, to try, make trial of, tests for the purpose of ascertaining his quality or what he thinks or how he will behave himself. All right, by impious or wicked conduct, to test the Most High's justice and patience, and to challenge him, all right, as it were, to give proof of his perfection. All right, and this is a test coming from the Most High. Now let's go to the root word of periazo, which is peria, G3984, a trial, experience, attempt a thing, to make trial of a thing or of a person, to have a trial of a thing, to experience, to learn, to know by experience. And when you look up the Strong's definition of peria, believe I'm saying it right, pyra. When you look up the definition of pyra, or the Strong's definition, it says from the base G4008 through the idea of piercing. And how do they implant that technology inside of a person? Where they pierce the brain. They either pierce the brain or pierce the hand to put the technology inside the individual. So this is the major test that's coming, and they're practicing it. They're not hiding it anymore. They're putting it right out there in the forefront. And we've been telling you and warning you, and there's groups that have been on the contrary. They've been saying the opposite. All right, knowing deep down inside that it is what Great Millstone has been saying it is, the RFID chip and the brain chip. That's what the MOTB is. But however, all right, they're going to be ashamed, highly ashamed, when it comes out that we were right. All right, and then they're going to have some explaining to do. The Most High Heavenly Father is making it known who is his true prophets and who are liars. All right, he's going to frustrate the things that these false teachers and liars have been teaching. And he's going to make what his true prophets have been prophesying about come to pass. And that's concerning all of the prophecies. But the main prophecy to be focusing on, all right, it's not what's happening down in Venezuela, although that is important. And the scripture says, be not ignorant in any matter, small or great. But the main prophecy to be focusing on is the mark of the beast. So with that, I truly hope that this lesson has been edifying. Until the next time, Shalom.
So with that, I'm going to say shalom on to the next shalom.